Little real.
Thank you, Major. At this time, our invocation and pledge will be by District 11.
At this time, I'd like to ask Brother David Corley, Associate Pastor at Life Church, to lead us in prayer, please.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day that you have given us. Lord, we thank you for the responsibility, Lord, that you have given us here tonight, Lord, as we serve the citizens of this county. Lord, we pray for godly wisdom, Lord, for understanding. Lord, we also pray for a spirit of unity and peace, Lord, as we serve this great county. Lord, we thank you and we pray that everything that we will say and we will do here this evening will bring glory and honor unto your name. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, if you'll call the roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll take your handsets, please. Everybody press yes and stop right there for me, please. Everybody press yes and stop right there. Is Mr. Martin not here tonight? Okay, may I have his handset, please? All right, ladies and gentlemen, now would you please press confirm for me, please? Everybody press confirm. All right, sound I love to hear. Mr. Chairman, you have 23 present, 1 absent. There is a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Approval of the agenda.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Unfinished business and action thereon by the board. Report of standing committees. Planning Committee.
No unfinished business, Mr. Chair.
Physical Review Committee.
No unfinished business, Mr. Chairman.
Nominating Committee.
No unfinished business, Mr. Chair.
Report of special committees. Any other unfinished business? New business and action thereon by the board. Report of standing committees. Planning.
No business tonight, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chairman Atwood. Physical Review.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item A recommends approval of a resolution rounding property tax amounts to the nearest dollar, and also move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, do a roll call.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you favor the motion, take your handsets and vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone vote, and just stop right there for me, please. Please don't confirm until we call you to confirm. Everybody, please vote. Thank you. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now press confirm for me, if you would, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm. Mr. Chairman, you have 21 voting yes, 2 no, 1 absent. Motion carries. Thank you.
Item B recommends approval for Putnam County to apply for the following grants for the solid waste department: used oil grant, waste reduction grant, recycling equipment grant, composting facility grant, and also move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you favor the motion, take your handsets and vote yes. If you're not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there for me. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now, please press confirm for me, if you would. Everybody, press confirm. Mr. Chairman, you have 23 voting yes, 1 absent, 0 noes. Motion carries. Thank you, Ben.
Item C recommends approval for the county executive's office to flag any budget amendments that involve maintenance of effort, and also move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, I believe we can just do a voice vote on this. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item D recommends to consider action needed to proceed with road repairs to Mill Creek Road due to recent flood damage. Mr. Porter.
Commissioners, as we discussed at fiscal review Monday night, during the recent flooding, there was a lot of damage to several of the roads in the county, and one of the major roads was Mill Creek Road. What the report that we're going to bring back to you tonight is the Department of Agriculture has a program that allows for them to pay for 75% of the repairs to road damage if it's caused by a blue line stream, and that is a blue line stream that runs down Mill Creek Road. We got the first preliminary approval today by the first engineer that says the project would be acceptable for their program. The second engineer is coming in tomorrow, and we'll know something tomorrow afternoon and Wednesday morning on the final approval for that. If it goes through, it'd be a federal program that we would do a bid out for a company to fix the road. It has to meet all the federal guidelines for this grant. They would pay 75% of the cost. The county would be responsible for matching 25% of that cost. The problem is, Randy might want to speak to this, we don't know how much the road is going to cost for the repairs.
We have looked at it, until we decide on if we are going to get the grant. We'll have to go by however the federal engineer wants to do it. And, if we don't get the grant, then we'll have to use our engineer. And they're basically talking about the same type of structure to fix it, but we can't come up with a number right now because it's just too far out. It's going to take some of the engineering to be done and figure out how much debris we're going to have to remove and how much we're going to have to build back. And it's just a process that's going to take a little time.
Randy and I have talked about this. Of course, if we get the grant, we're still going to have to match it to 25%. Our first estimates, and I'm going to throw that number out, is what we first estimated to be about $500,000. If that's the case, we're looking at about $100,000 for our share. We'd have to try to handle that balance for the grant, either out of Randy's fund balance or from somewhere. My recommendation, and I think Randy's agreed to this, is that since we don't know if we're going to get the grant or we're not, we think there's a really good chance that we will. And I don't know if grant's the right word for this. It's a disaster relief program that the feds have. is that we proceed on just like we have with the budget and everything, and not leave any money. If we get it, Randy do the match out of his fund balance, and depending on that amount, whether it's a big amount or small amount, is whether he'd be able to absorb it or not. If it's more than he could absorb during the middle of the year, if we need to, we'd do a transfer out of county general to help him along with it until we can get into another budget year. Chances are, I think, is by the time we would bid this, go through all the process we have to do with the engineering studies and everything, it could possibly be into next fiscal year before it would be finished and the money would be coming out. Do you have anything you want to add to that, Randy?
Well, all I've got to say is it's, that $500,000 is just a guess. It's just it could run as high as $1 million, you know. That's just a assumption that we've come up with, and you know, it's going to be expensive and very lengthy project, so that, and like I said, that's just a guess.
Commissioner Atwood.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One question is all I have. What are we asking for tonight? Help me understand exactly what it is that we're asking for.
If we had got a bad report today that the first engineer had not approved it and it'd be acceptable to this program, we've been asking for some form of revenue or funds for Randy to be able to fix that road. We'd have to pay for 100% of it. With the first report being positive, that they think that this will be able to happen to the federal program, that we're probably not do anything tonight. Let us work through the process. Randy will try to absorb it in his budget during the year, but we're going to have to look at next budget year. His fund balance can't keep getting hit. Ice storm, flooding, tornado, all these things that we've had. We had 3 major events in 5 months that at some point, we're going to have to find him some more money.
But the item says, consider action needed to proceed with road repairs. So in reading this, that's what you're asking for, but at this point, we're not asking for any funding. So do you need permission? I guess that's where, is there a need for this resolution, Mr. Chair? And maybe, I don't know. That's why, because...
The only thing that, every time I've dealt with a federal grant or a federal program, they always want to see something from the county commission that you're okay with it. So I'd recommend that if y'all are okay with us proceeding, now, Wednesday morning, we may find out that it didn't get approved. And if it didn't, then we're going to have to go to Plan B, and Randy's going to try to figure out what we do, and we may have to do some kind of budget amendments or stuff during the middle of the fiscal year. But I think we want to be on board, the commission be on board that for doing this federal program if we're accepted.
So we're just asking, you're asking for permission to proceed. So I'll make a motion then, Mr. Chair, that we do that.
Have a motion and a second. Any more discussion, Commissioner Benning?
I'd just like to point out, and I'm sure you're aware of it, that there is a business down there. They have like 15 employees, and they do have delivery trucks trying to get down there. My question was, is it safe for a truck of that size to get down there to that business? I mean...
They can come in off Highway 84.
They can come off 84?
They have a back entrance if they come.
They have 2 businesses, got no machine shop down there too.
Right, right.
They can come up 84 and come in the one way.
Okay, that's...
It's a hard turn from you
Right.
get to this place.
So that, I mean, that could be a problem. I mean, I was thinking if they couldn't get down there to that business, you know, with the materials
Well,
they needed.
I would hate to take a big truck out.
Yeah, I would come in the back way.
It's not, you don't know how stable
Right.
that's
And Randy's put up signs up at the beginning of Mill Creek Road off Highway 70 telling the folks that one lane.
We've got barrels, barricaded off, slide areas.
So it's really kind of hard to tell at this point how long it's going to be before you kind of repair completeness. Okay.
From our conversations, this is gonna be a big project. This is not a simple go out and repair the road. I'd compare it to Highway 84 at the Monterey where it slid off up there. You see how many problems they've been having out of that. I compare that on a smaller level. But anyway.
This could take up to a year or longer, couldn't it, Randy?
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Everyone understand what we're doing here now? Mr. Clerk? Okay. If no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Vice Chairman Rogers. Nominating committee.
No business come before the body tonight.
Report of special committees. Before we get into the budget here, I need to turn it over to our clerk for a direct and indirect conflict statements.
All right. Every year, we have to, before we begin the voting on the budget, we have to complete direct conflict of interest statements and indirect conflict of interest statements. So some of you are familiar with this and some of you may not be. If you are an employee of Putnam County government and you're here, I need for you to sign for me this direct conflict of interest statement, which basically says, because I am an employee of Putnam County government, I have a conflict of interest in the proposal about to be voted on. However, I declare that my argument and my vote answer only to my conscience and to my obligation to my constituents and the citizens this body represents. So I'll ask you to sign these. So if you will come around, please, sign these. You don't need to date them. I'll date them tonight. I'll sign them later if you would, please. You're on payroll of any kind. No, yeah, I can do it. All I want you to sign is just county commissioner right there. I got the rest of that. All right. All right. Is that all of the direct? Everybody that works for the county, that's got everybody on that one? All right, now let's do indirect. This is if you have a spouse, child, any relative that works for Putnam County government. I need you to sign this for me tonight. This is an indirect conflict of interest statement which says, because I have a relative working for Putnam County government, I have a conflict of interest in the proposal about to be voted on. However, I declare that my argument and my vote answer only to my conscience and to my obligation to my constituents and the citizens this body represents. Okay? All right. Just, if you'll just sign where it says Commissioner, I'll date it, and then when I sign it and seal with my own seal right there. Yes. Okay, bro. Why can't you get up here?
No,
Thank you, sir.
I guess you want a pen to sign. You want me to-
Just sign them only, and I'll date them. Okay? Excellent. All right. Is that all the indirects? We all squared away. Everybody ready now to vote? Okay. Thank you. Excellent. All right.
This time, consideration of the Putnam County fiscal year 2015-2016 county budget presented by the Budget Committee. At this time, I'll turn it over to Chairman Ben Rogers of the Budget Committee. Whenever he's reading this off, if you would, if you've got questions.
Mr. Chairman, could I have for a minute?
Yes, sir, I'm sorry, Mr. Shanks, I didn't see you. I'm sorry.
Let me start with some people want to say that with not having a budget increase, it's going to be a large increase. Last year, one penny brought in $136,000. This year, after reappraisal, one penny brought in $141,000. But you kept the same 280.5 tax rate, the same as last year. That's a big increase right there. Much less in the budget, it's over $2 million in the budget increase. And that's double dipping, and I can't go along with it.
Thank you, Commissioner Shanks. If you got any questions when Mr. Rogers reads it off, just push your button. We'll address you and go on at this time. Chairman, Mr. Rogers of the Budget Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I had the honor and privilege of being the Budget Committee Chairman. I want to thank my Budget Committee members. They've done a great job this year. We worked well together. I want to start with Ms. Adams, Ms. Bradford, Mr. Atwood, Mr. Buttram, Mr. Alonzon, Mr. Savage, Mr. Ebersol, and then well, Jim, he's not here. So Mr. Martin, thank you very much for your work and effort. Mr. Shanks, I want to address your statement. I think I understood you. We're actually going through reappraisal right now for starting July 1 until June 30th. So next year we will have, hopefully we have grown enough that we'll have
You already got over $2 million in reappraisal already, up to this point.
They're working on reappraisal now.
I know that, but
So-
the paper said $2 million is already increased.
So we won't have a certified rate until next year. And then if we,
Just wait till people pay their taxes in a year, you'll see what's going on.
okay. All right, let's get started with the general fund, and I'm going to read it. If you have your handouts, your budget, and you want to follow along, the appropriation resolution. The general fund total appropriations for this fiscal year 2015-16 are $31,766,083 with a tax rate of 83.5 cents, which is no increase. And I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're voting on County General Park, 83.5 cents. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Please stop right there for me, please. Don't confirm until we ask you to in this section, please. All right, all votes are in. Anyone wish to change your vote anywhere? All right, now please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm. Everybody press confirm. Donnie, press confirm for me. There you go. Thank you, bro. Mr. Chairman, you have 22 voting yes, 1 no, 1 absent, 0 abstain. County General passes. All right. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you. Next fund is Solid Waste Sanitation Fund. Total appropriation is $4,777,590 with a tax rate of 55 cents, which is no increase, and I so move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Short.
Yeah, Keith, just a quick question. Fund balance, are you comfortable with the $300,000 that you're showing? Thanks, sir.
Actually, it's 19 cents, I'm sorry, with no increase.
19 cents?
19 cents.
Thank you. Okay. Yes.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you take your handsets, if you favor the motion for solid waste 19 cents, press yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there. Don't confirm yet. All right, all votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now press confirm for me, please, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm. There we go. Mr. Chairman, you have 22 voting yes, 1 no, 1 absent. Motion passes. Great. Thanks, Ben.
The debt service fund with a total appropriation of $16,115,356 with a tax rate of 65 cents, which is no increase, and I so move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Short?
Yeah, Randy, I have three kind of discussion points I want you to fill us in on. The one is how the brush situation was handled with the expenses being last year, and the fact that we're not going to get the funding in place to the FEMA funding that was to replace most of that expenses.
The thing with FEMA on the ice storm is that we had to take the money out of fund balance, and it was amended out into its own line item, and there was a line item for the expenditures. That was in last year's budget. The money coming back from FEMA, if we take and include it as a receivable for last year, because we don't know when we'll get the money exactly, then we get a major audit finding if it didn't come in before August 31st. If we put it in, coming in this current upcoming, the fiscal year that we just started, and for some reason we didn't receive it in that fiscal year, we would receive an audit finding. Commissioner Rogers and I talked with audit, met with audit. We felt like the best thing to do is wait until we receive the money, and it will probably come in several different installments. And once we get the money, we'll do an amendment that'll come before the county commission, putting it back into fund balance at that time, so that way we don't get any audit funds.
Okay. Everybody got that one? Okay. Discuss how we're going to fund the roofs that need replacing, please.
We're moving $2 million out of debt service, the excess revenue that we had in there this year from the increased sales tax and hotel motel tax and so forth, moved it into capital projects. We will put that out for bid with for the local or whoever to bid on it. We'll fix the roofs and in the capital projects fund, and any money left over in that fund, once we see what they come in, we'll either stay in that fund or we can move it back out into debt service next year.
Where we are right now on debt service is collecting considerably more than what our actual debt service is, even though it's the third highest in the state at this point, right?
Right, but your amounts that you have in debt service to pay for debt service, property tax and so forth, this was money that came in above all of that, at about $2 million in excess. We didn't feel like that, the budget committee didn't feel like, and I didn't either, that it would be proper to go borrow that money and pay interest on it, and we could take and use it to do the school roofs, and the roofs are going to have to be done, or the buildings aren't going to be able to be used.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you take your handsets, if you favor the motion on debt service 65 cents, vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone vote, and please stop right there. Wait for me to ask you to confirm, please. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now please press confirm for me, if you would, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your cooperation there. Mr. Chairman, you have 22 voting yes, 1 no, 1 absent, 0 abstain. Motion carries. Thank you, Ben.
The total appropriation for the Putnam County Road Fund is $4,872,170 with a tax rate of 10 cents. That is no increase, and I so move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're voting on the road fund for 10 cents. In favor of the motion, vote yes. If not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now, please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, you have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 1 absent. Motion carries.
The next fund with property tax allocated to it is the Industrial Economic Development Fund. Total appropriation is $1,592,800 with a tax rate of 3 cents, which is no increase, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you take your handsets, voting Industrial Economic Fund, 3 cents. In favor of the motion, vote yes. If not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there for me. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change? Please now press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm. Everybody press confirm. There we go. Have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent, 0 abstain. Motion carries. Thank you, Ben. All right.
Total appropriation for the Capital Projects Fund is $2,244,667 with a property tax rate of 2 cents, which is no increase, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk?
Ladies and gentlemen, take your handsets on the Capital Projects Fund at 2 cents. In favor of the motion, vote yes. If not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? What do we have to confirm? Now, please confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. 23 voting yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 1 absent. Motion carries, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ben.
The Sports and Recreation Fund has a total allocation of $1,244,070 with a tax rate of 5.5 cents, which is no increase, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk?
Ladies and gentlemen, take your handsets on Sports Park and Recreation, 5.5 cents. In favor of the motion, vote yes. Not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote, and stop right there for me, please. Everybody voting. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, we have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent. Motion carries. All right, thank you, Ben.
General Purpose School Fund has a total appropriation of $80,045,402 with a tax rate of 92.5 cents. That's no increase, and I so move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Short?
I don't know if I'm aiming this at you, Jerry, or not, but the fund balance, the actual revenue versus expenses line for this year is showing an $8 million loss, and for the budget year 15-16 you're showing 1.3. Is the $8 million an accurate number?
$8 million loss, I'm not really sure what you're...
Well, I'm looking at your budget as you handed it to us.
The total expenditures are $80 million. The total revenue is just under $79 million. To close the gap, the board had approved to use $1.3 million for fund balance.
My report must have been done before you closed out or something, because that's not what I'm showing. I'm showing 14-15 as a loss of $8 million.
That's not accurate.
I think you want to, it's just all I have.
Yes.
So how close are you, Mark?
We budgeted $867,000 differential between revenue and expenses. And I believe it's going to be about $300,000 actually.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, voting on the school department at 92.5 cents. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you don't favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there for me, please. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, you have 22 voting yes, 1 no, 1 absent, 0 abstain. Motion carries. All right. Thank you, sir.
If you'll turn back with me to page 2 of the appropriation resolution we need to finish out. The next fund is Child Nutrition Fund with a total appropriation of $5,888,130. There's no tax with this fund. I so move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you take your handsets, you favor the motion on child nutrition, press yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there for me, please. All right. Wait a minute, Mr. Sheriff. So, all votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now press confirm for me, please, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Mr. Chairman, you have 22 voting yes, 1 no, 1 absent. Motion carries. Thank you, Ben.
On page 3, the extended school program has a total appropriation of $935,809. There's no property tax in this fund. I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you take your handsets on the extended school program, if you favor the motion, vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there for me, please. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. All right, appreciate it. Mr. Chairman, you have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent. Motion carries.
The Drug Control Fund has a total appropriation of $28,500. There's no property tax in this fund. I so move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the Drug Control Fund, if you favor the motion, vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stopping right there for me, please. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? All right, now please press confirm for me, please, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, I have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent. Motion carries. Thank you, Ben.
The Preservation of Records Fund has a total appropriation of $102,200. That's no property tax in that fund. I so move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
Preservation of records, favor of the motion, vote yes. Not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wishing to change their vote anywhere, please wait till I ask you to confirm, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on. Anybody want to change their vote? Now press confirm for me. Man. All right. Mr. Chairman, you have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent. Motion carries. Thank you, Ben.
Other special revenue fund has a total appropriation of $700. No property tax allocated to this fund. I so move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take your handsets, and once again, if you favor the motion, vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Vote and stop right there for me, please. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their votes? Now, please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, you have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent. Motion carries.
The Community Development Fund has a total appropriation of $124,100. That's no property tax money allocated to the fund, and I so move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
Community Development Fund, in favor of the motion, vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Yeah, all votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now, please press confirm for me, please, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm. Larry, thank you. 23 voting yes, Mr. Chairman, 0 no, 1 absent. Motion carries. Thank you, Ben.
Well, before we pass the appropriation resolution as a whole, I'd like to point out Section 14 of the appropriation resolution. Randy mentioned it earlier in discussion, but it reads, "Be it further resolved that the debt service fund will transfer $2 million into the capital projects fund for repair of school roofs, and there will also be $400,000 transfer from the debt service fund to the industrial economic development fund for economic development." Now I'd like to make a motion to approve the appropriation resolution as a whole.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
Ladies and gentlemen, take your handsets. Approving the resolution all as whole. Favor of the motion, vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there for me, please. All votes in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now, please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm. Mr. Chairman, you have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 1 absent. Motion carries.
If you will, turn with me to the property tax resolution proposing the tax rate in Putnam County, Tennessee for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2015. The total tax rate for the county, which is no increase, of $2.80.50. I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
On the tax rate, if you favor the motion, vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now, please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm. Mr. Chairman, you have 22 voting yes, 1 no, 1 absent, and 0 abstain. The motion carries.
Now we need I want to make a motion to approve the appropriations to nonprofit, charitable, and civic organizations benefiting Putnam County, Tennessee for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2015 and ending June 30th, 2016.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
Ladies and gentlemen, voting on nonprofits, take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stopping right there for me, please. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now, please press confirm for me, if you would, please. Mr. Chairman, we have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent, 0 abstain. Motion on nonprofits passes.
Last thing the Comptroller's Office likes for us to do is approve the 3-column budget document as it's been presented to the County Commission. So I need to entertain a motion.
Approving what?
3-column budget document, the
Okay.
whole budget as a whole.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
All right. Favor the motion, ladies and gentlemen, take your handsets and vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote? Now, please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm. Everybody press confirm. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, we have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent, 0 abstain. Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes the presentation of the fiscal year 2015-16 budget.
Thank you, Chairman Rogers. Resolutions.
Hang on. There are no resolutions, Mr. Chairman.
Election of notaries.
Miriam J. Bailey, Deborah D. Baker, Jennifer Carmack, Amy Carr, Molly Cowan, David Day, Amy M. Dillon, Deborah K. Evans, Rhonda Gooding, Emily Brooke Green Burton, Jamie R. Gunter, April D. Howard, Teresa Locke, Anthony C. Maxwell, George Kevin McCaleb, Judy Miller, Melba Murphy, Rebecca Lynn Phillips, Emma Jean Puckett, Nadine Faye Shera, Richard A. Stites, Ashley E. Waters.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
And we have to vote these by handset, ladies and gentlemen. So if you take your handsets, you favor the motion, vote yes. Or in favor of the motion, vote no. We have to vote these always in the notaries. All right. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere, please press confirm for me. Everybody press confirm, please. Mr. Chairman, you have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent, 0 abstain. Motion of the notaries passes. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Other new business, discussion of the fairground rental. County Exec, Mr. Randy Porter.
There was a question at fiscal review committee meeting Monday night on Fair Board, whether they rent the fairgrounds or not, and so I presented you some information tonight. There's 2 pages of it. As you can see by the sheet, that the Fair Board provided me with data of the numbers that they had paid back to the county or had either paid for utilities, paid directly to the maintenance department, paid for items that the Fair Board, at the fairground. And as you can see, if we had charged them the rent that we normally charge a nonprofit, it would have been a huge loss to the county compared to what we received from them. So I'm not sure it requires any action tonight unless you want to change, somebody wants to change what we're currently doing.
Commissioner Medley.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to just write this off and call it even, and the next year we start over as we have passed and that we passed the rules on. So I'd just like to call this even tonight, and we start it over next year. So
I have a motion on the floor So here's a second.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Commissioner Adams?
Yes, I just wanted to clarify and make sure that I'm reading this correctly. Any improvement that the Fair Board does then belongs to the county. So the new arena and all of that belongs to the county.
Well, anything that's tied to the fairgrounds, yeah, I mean, if it's something that's portable, that can be picked back up, I mean, they have a lot of items out there that may not be tied down.
But none of them on this list. So.
Yeah, I mean, John, would y'all consider the arena part of the new fairground? Yeah, that's what I would too, and yeah, anything that they've done, I don't see, I mean, trash cans that they pay for might be something they can take with them, but anything that's permanent would go as part of the fairground.
Commissioner Short?
Thank you, sir. I'm going to pass this one.
Commissioner Bowman?
Randy, is any of this come out of Tater's? Has Tater have to pay anything out of this?
We do improvements out there all the time that we pay out of his budget, out of maintenance. I think this year we've done about $11,000 in work that he's done out there. A lot of the stuff that's done though is the Fair Board furnishes the materials and so forth, and we do the labor with the maintenance department. But yes, we do some improvements to the fairgrounds also.
So this $26,000, that is what the Fair Board paid totally themselves, is that correct?
Yeah, that does not include anything that we did. I don't think you included what we did in your numbers.
So that doesn't include Tater's crew for what comes out of that. So we would still have to pay Tater's crew to help them, is that correct?
Yeah, that's part of their job to keep all the county facilities maintenance and up to that.
Do you know how much it would be?
This past year, we spent about $11,000.
Out of Tater's budget?
Just a little over 11,000.
Folks, let me remind you, we're supposed to be discussing here about the motion we've got on the floor. What's kind of getting off here. Commissioner Ford, is your question about the motion?
Yes.
Okay. You got the floor.
All right. I'll ask Mr. Benson.
Repeat that again.
My motion is to just call it even, and we'll start over next year, we'll start charging the fees as we pass it. And that was my motion, so moved.
Well, I can go along with that, to call it even and start next year. The deal was when Fair Board came up here, half these commissioners weren't here, and the Fair Board demanded that the county turn it over to them and give them the right to run it. And to me, and the commissioners that voted on it, said, hey, you can have it, but you're your own company, and you're going to pay. And the motion that the county has, you're going to pay for using the fairground. And another thing is, just going out there tearing buildings down and doing whatever you want to, it's going to stop. That means the way it is, the way you're doing it now, I can go out there, not get charged anything. Maybe I won't tear a building down and redo my own. But that's not what we settled on. Some of you I know wasn't on the Fair Board last year. And a lot of this 2014, that's already gone on these expenses. That's like the electricity that you redone in the barn. We ended up having to pay a bunch of money on that too, because you tore it out before you had the electrical inspector look at it, and it was just 100 amps, and we had to redo the whole electrical on it. You wanted it. You wanted it by yourself, you got it. And what we need to do is, if we have to, sit down, appoint a committee, and I don't mind being on it, and come up with a price, charge everybody on this. I have a real problem with the taxpayers paying $11,000 for Tater going out there turning the lights on. And I don't want to hear, oh, we paid $30,000.
Commissioner Ford, stay on the subject here now.
$30,000 for electric, Well, you used it. That'd be like a renter telling me, hey, I took $150 off your rent because my electric bill was $150. If you're gonna use the fairground, you're just like, Putnam County Co-op or Putnam County, Livestock. You're an individual company now. You got it, you wanted it, and you need to pay for it. And I go along Mr. Medley's.
Mr.
That's all
Atwood.
I have, Mr. Chairman.
I'm trying, Mr. Chair, to come up with how to ask the question. I'm not sure what we're doing. I guess I've been lost all day, I guess, because this has been the same question I've asked now through.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Parliamentarian, but what's come up is about the rental on the fairground. And, Mr. Clerk, you've got it wrote down, but the motion, and it's got a second, is that we forgive the fair, or let them buy however you want to put it this year without paying rent, and it starts next year, and they're just like anybody else, because that's the way the motion was made several years ago when we passed it.
So the
Is that
resolution
correct,
now
Mr. Clerk?
before us is they would pay if we don't pass this change. Am I correct in that, Randy?
I understand that to be Mr. Medley's motion, but I want to speak to that before you vote.
Well, that's my question. If everything is left undone, we vote this motion down, then will the fair board pay rent this year?
The agreement that we have, remember I'm new in office, the agreement that we have with the fair, that I understood it was, is that they would pay all the utilities for the fairgrounds for 2 months, for the months of July and August. And that comes, they budgeted this year for that to be about $11,000. If you look at the bottom of the sheet that I have, if we charge them the maximum rate, just like we would any other nonprofit, we would lose about $4,500 a year by doing that. Now, that does not even take into consideration all the money that they put into the fairgrounds on these improvements and everything. I think we've got a good thing going. I don't think it needs to be messed with. I think that we do need to look at the fairground rates. They haven't been evaluated since 2008. What I'd like to do is to evaluate those, bring those back to you at a future meeting. I work closely with the fair board. They haven't done anything out there that we didn't think was a benefit to the fairgrounds. I'll continue to work with them. I think John and the fair board would promise that they're not going to do anything that would harm the fair board, and they will work with me to make sure that any changes made out there are a benefit to the fairgrounds. And if I felt like they wouldn't, we could bring it to the commission and let you decide if we disagreed on something. I think if you change and charge them based on the fees that we have now, the fee schedule we have now, we will lose money next year.
Okay, again, I apologize because I'm a little thick-headed, but so what's in place now is the same thing that's been in place for the last several years. Is that right?
Well, and
This motion will change what we've had in the past several years? That's my question.
There was a motion passed back in 2013, Wayne, where that when the fire board became their own separate, county commissioners gave the fire board their own separate, separate entity. There was part of that motion.
March of 14.
That I did not know about. I'm not sure anybody else paid any attention to, that said that the fire board would start being charged fees for rental of the fairgrounds just like any other entity. I did not know that until one day this week.
So then it sounds like, based upon that, we need this motion tonight in order to maintain what we've done in the past 2 years, and then we'll reevaluate it next year. Is that what you're trying to do, Commissioner Medley, if I may ask? I really am trying to understand this.
Let's just try this one more time. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to call it even for what they've spent and what our fees would be. It will be a clean slate after tonight if we pass the motion that I put in place.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, as has been passed in the past, the rules that was passed, if you want to come back and change them in August or whenever you want to go through all this stuff, that where they're charged like everybody else, then that's fine. All I'm trying to do tonight is clean the slate, and that was my motion, to just call it even for what they've spent and for what our fees would have been, and start it over next year.
I am thick-headed, because I'm sorry, I don't know what that means exactly.
You're writing off their debt.
Can I
Do
read
they
you?
owe us, do they owe us anything right now?
They would if you was going by the rules that was passed.
Can I read to you guys what was passed? Would
Yes,
that,
sir.
would it help you?
Yes, sir, Mr. Clerk, read it off.
In the minutes of March of 2014, last year, there was a motion that said to separate the Fair Board and Putnam County to result in the Fair Board being a completely autonomous entity from the county effective October the 1st, 2014. The Fair Board would then utilize the Putnam County Fairgrounds under a rental agreement as those entered into between the county and other entities wishing to make use of the Putnam County Fairgrounds and related facilities. Now, there was a motion to leave it, amended that, to leave it as it was. That failed and went back to the original motion and it passed. So that's what's in place right now.
And that's the issue, Commissioner Atwood, is that it says that we'll have a rental agreement with them, just like we do the other nonprofit entities. That's the reason I'm bringing you this information tonight, to let you know that if we go along, if you continue with that, and we do that next year, you're gonna lose money, because they will pay the utility fee that we charge in the agreement of $125 a day, instead of them paying the full utilities. That $125 a day will not add up to almost $11,000 in utilities. So,
Come to the podium, ma'am. This one. If you would state your name.
My name is Gina Hooper, and I am on the Fair Board. And it's not just the electric or anything like that. It's not just that. The Fair Board does not really tell you what all that is put into the fairgrounds. It's not just us paying the electric. We're out there working, but we do repairments on the buildings. We go in there, we paint, we do anything that needs to be done, and we try to come up with the funds to do that. Sometimes we do ask for help, but there's not another event out there that is charged rent, not another one, that is charged rent to go there, that does all the work and all the improvements that we do there as fairgrounds. So I hope when you do consider that as far as paying rent, you'll consider and go back and look at what we have paid, and he has the budget there of everything that we have paid in and all the repairments that have been done on the fairgrounds. When you look at that and you compare that to the rent that's there on the fairgrounds, it's not going to compare. You all will be losing money because of what we do put into the fairgrounds, as far as money-wise, labor, and everything else. And yes, Tater does a great job, and he does get paid, but we also do the same thing. So I just hope you'll consider that whenever you all look at it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to be finished right here, Mr. Chair, with one more question. If I want things to remain like they have in the past, how do I need to vote on this resolution tonight? That's what I want to know. It's a problem for me. So somebody tell me how I need to, they call this the Putnam County Fairgrounds because that's where you have the fair. I mean, that's obvious. And I think in the past we have reaped rewards of that happening, whether it was under the direction of this body or not under the direction of this body. They've paid more than their share. They maintain it. They put the buildings out there that these other hog rallies and other things get to utilize. And they're doing that on volunteer work and with expenses. So, having said that, somebody please tell me how I need to vote on this resolution if I want it to stay the same. That's all I need to know, Mr. Chair.
Well, Commissioner Atwood, I would say these other ones, the hog rally and everything, they are paying their fair share too. Now, they might not be out there working, building, but everybody, my understanding, is paying. Anything else?
Nobody's answering my question. How do I need to?
Yes or no?
Great leadership.
Commissioner Shanks?
Can I answer his question?
Yes, sir.
Vote no on that, because we voted to Allgood, Baxter, Monterey, and Cookville have that fairground anytime they want it for nothing. And the nonprofit people don't pay anything. And you don't see any volunteers out there. You see a bunch of volunteers sitting here in the audience, work their butt off all the time for nothing. They don't get paid nothing. And it's not right to charge them anything. It's, when all good Baxter, Monterey, and Cooper can use it anytime they want to. We voted that years ago, or last year when it was.
Commissioner Medley.
Mr. Chairman, I'm calling the vote on this issue.
Have a call for a vote.
Do we need a roll call in? Huh? Is he calling the question?
You calling the question, Mike?
Yes.
Have a call for a question. Do I hear a second? Have a second.
Mr. Schultz.
All right.
I believe the vote is to call for a cease of debate. I believe it takes 2/3 in order to pass that. I believe is the correct, Mr. Parliamentarian. Correct me if I'm wrong.
All right. I'm going to clear the board. Now I'm going to ask you to take your handsets. We're voting on ceasing to debate. Okay. So everybody understand what we're voting on? We're voting to cease the debate, not voting on the motion. We're voting to cease the debate. It takes 2/3 to do that. Now take your handsets, and if you're favoring to cease the debate, then vote yes. If you're not in favor of the cease the debate, then vote no. And please stop right there for me. Now, all votes are in. Everybody understand what you voted on? You're voting on strictly ceasing the debate. It takes 2/3 to make this pass. Now, if you'll press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen, please press confirm for me. We'll tally the votes. Everybody press confirm. All right, 14 noes, 9 yeses, 1 absent, 0 abstain. That motion fails. Now we're back to the motion as it is still sitting on the floor.
Mr. Williams, are you wanting to talk about the motion?
Yeah, I think I
Okay.
can clear it up. I really do. I may be off, but I think I can clear it up. I think Commissioner Medley's motion, we should vote, I'm going to vote yes on that, because the way I look at it is, because in 2014 we voted and said we're going to charge them rent. If we had stuck with that, and if the Fair Board had stuck with that, they made a bad decision because they put $26,000 last year into the fair, which they shouldn't have done. What they should have done is said, okay, we're rent payers now. We want you to fix all of this stuff. We didn't. They did. So we could charge them rent, and we're kind of sticking it to them because they spent money they shouldn't have, and then we're gonna charge them rent. If we do what Medley says and says just call it even, then next year they probably shouldn't put any money into the fair. They should ask us to do it because we're charging them rent. And we should have been charging nonprofits rent all along, which is what caused the whole discussion in 2014. We were giving them too much of a break or whatever. So I think we all kind of went round and round in circles, and everyone's confused. I think we just need to vote yes and get it over with. And next year, we need to increase the rates. I think, because if what you're saying is that their electric bill is $11,000, and we're only charging $100 a day, we have the wrong rates in there. Because it wouldn't make sense for us to charge them less than what the cost is. So we can discuss that later, but tonight all we need to do is say yes and go on. Yeah.
Commissioner Medley.
That's just mine.
You're done. Hang on. Commissioner Ford.
Mr. Williams is exactly right on this. They made a bad decision. Like I said, they wanted it, they got it, and now they got to pay for it. We need to sit down and figure out what kind of rate we're going to charge on the fairground. We need to charge where the county comes out on it instead of losing money. And we need to charge by how many days and whatever. We need to figure out some way to charge all these nonprofits. Just because they're nonprofit don't mean that they don't make money. So, you're exactly right. They made a bad decision. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Atwood.
One more question, and then I will hush, I promise you. The one part, Mr. Medley, that I don't understand about your motions, you said after tonight it would be called even. We have a fair coming up in a week, 2 weeks. What is that going to do for that fair if it's available, if we're calling it even? Are they going to pay electric for that $11,000 worth of electric bill this year? Or, I mean, what does even mean at this point? That's what I can't understand. What's going to happen this year? We got a fair in 2 weeks.
What their expenditures is, Mr. Atwood, until them having to pay rent, they're gonna pay just like always. And after this fair, is where we'll start working on the rental agreement.
That's all.
Everybody will be even, and everybody will be happy.
Thank you very kind. That's what I wanted to know.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, if you want to speak, come on up. State your name, please.
My name is Sally Askew, and I came on the Fair Board this year. And one of the reasons I chose to do that is because I saw that for the first time in many years, the fairgrounds was being improved and changed. And I can tell you that since I came on the board, I have not stopped working. And I'm also a businesswoman, and I looked at this a lot, and I didn't know about this until just recently. But it appears to me that I would like you to consider this. What needs to change is the motion to charge the fair rent. That was the mistake, because it was not well thought through, and a price was set. What this fair board and county fair is doing for this community is rebuilding something that brings people together, that improves their quality of life, and they're doing lots of work to the fairground. No, maybe that wasn't what we should have done, but we did it because we love where we live. And our whole goal is to make this place a better place and to revive the common values that we should share as a people in times when our values are certainly questionable in some cases. So I would ask that you would look at this from a totally different point of view, not hassling over rent and electric bills and those things, but look at what all the people of this community have poured into this community through the fairground to give us something that we can be proud of, something that can grow and prosper. Last year we had over 40,000 people that came to the fair. I can tell you I stopped going because no one was coming, and the fairgrounds were in such disrepair. It was really an embarrassment. This year we hope to have over 50,000, and each year we're going to keep doing this. We received an award last year for the most improved fair in the AAA division in the state. That's a big deal. It may not be to everyone, but it is to a lot of people. So as you look at this, whatever you decide, I ask you just to think about it from another point of view.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Honeycutt.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I just want to make sure I'm a little bit like Mike was. If we vote yes and approve Mike Medley's motion, Commissioner Medley's motion, that means we sit down with the Fair Board and try to work something out. Correct, Mr. Medley?
No, what that means is you're doing away with their debt.
Okay.
Their rental fees, which you would be charging them because of the money that they have spent.
I understand that.
Okay, after this, then if you want to sit down next month, redo your rules, go through and fix everything, that's fine. That's something that should be put on the agenda to discuss, okay? But all we're doing tonight is we're going ahead and forgiving them for their rental fees for the money that they've spent tonight. So everybody will be even, and we'll all start on a clean slate. We'll work out rules of rental. We'll work out whatever you want to work out at a later date. We're just trying to solve the problem tonight.
Okay, because I do know after spending 10 years on the Fire Board, there is a lot of work goes on. They are. I say that. And the facility does look pretty good. So as long as the slate is going to be clean after tonight, and then we can move on like Mike Atwood said, we've got a fair starts Thursday night.
And we're going to have a fair.
Yeah, we're going to have a fair no matter what
we're going to have
decide.
a fair.
So yes, I see doing that, wiping it clean and then sitting down with the county executive with them and trying to work something out. Okay, that clears that up. Thank you.
Mr. Porter,
Mr. Chairman, I think we went way around, from...
we've been plumb around the country.
We have. Mr. Medley's motion is needed to correct the issue that's in the minutes. And as long as I'll be all for, and I hope you would too, is after this fire is passed, us sitting down with the fire board and working out something that would be mutually agreeable with them, and not just saying that we'd automatically start charging them this and us lose money. I have to look at the finances of the county, and I don't want to see us lose money. If we can work out something that's mutually agreeable between now and next year, I think that's great. And I think
I believe you're right, because the only way that this motion can be broke or changed is to come back up after the fact.
That's right.
Mr. Savage.
I really think these rules are outdated. And I say that because when we reviewed the motor events a few years ago, and we put deposits on all the motor events, we also looked at allowing, like Mr. Shanks said, the municipalities within the county and nonprofits the ability to have the rental fees waived. Okay? And so one of the reasons in March of 14, when we passed to let the Fair Board separate, it didn't go in effect until October, was to allow them to get their 501c3 where they could be a legal nonprofit entity. Because at the time they had worked under the counties, always. So they were breaking apart and they were doing that. So when that happened in October, they received their 501c3, which allowed them to have the waiver. So I don't know that this motion is necessary because of these rules. I've been looking through the minutes for the past couple of years and I haven't been able to find it yet, but I'm going to keep digging.
Are you talking about when it was made?
Just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's right here. I've got it. March of 2014.
No, that was when the Fair Board broke away. Prior to that, we had changed some rules on the municipalities.
Well, you had.
You're talking about as far as municipalities being charged zero?
Yes, sir.
That was in rental contracts?
Yes.
Okay. That
Is
precedes
that in 14?
this action here, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, if we're already waiving nonprofits, municipalities and nonprofits were included in our motions. Are we sure?
Yes.
I want to see, where was that rule at?
Oh, Lord, it's in there. Trust me.
Before we yield nonprofits a 50% discount.
Yeah. I don't think nonprofits are, they're not free. Municipalities are, but I don't think nonprofits are. I'd have to look it up and see. I've got it. I mean, we can dig, but it'll take me a while to get it, but I can get it.
I was looking for the municipality. I knew they were in there together. That's what I was looking for in the minutes. I haven't been able to find it yet.
Unless
It's in a resolution that was passed by the commission on September 19th of 2011, says,
yeah.
Putnam County Fairgrounds is available for any individuals, nonprofit, or public service organizations, and any, goes on some more, on a fee basis per the terms set forth in the rental contract. Those fees that I gave you tonight are the last set of fees that I could find. And at the bottom of that, it says that nonprofits would be charged at a 50% discount. That's what I've been operating on since I took office.
Commissioner Shanks.
Mr. Chairman, years ago, Putnam County Commission gives the fair $6,000 every year. And they went from there. We voted years ago that the Fair Board has to spend every dollar they make on the fairground. You can't go wrong. It goes right back to the county fairground. And you don't want that to happen? They can't use it nowhere but the county fairground.
Seeing no more discussions, Commissioner Ford.
A few years ago, County Fair Board paid, I think it was $9,700 a year, and put in taters, or put in the maintenance department. And they done that for several years. They don't do that. They stopped that a couple of years ago and quit paying that. I understand everybody works real hard out there, and it's a great deal. I know a lot of people have fun. I usually volunteer to help, but you're an individual. You're not alone with Putnam County. And that, my whole thing was a while ago, I told Randy and everybody here, we need to sit down, have a committee, and decide what we're going to charge and who we're going to charge. We need to look at that 50% or whatever we need to do, and the county needs to make money on it, not lose money. So, that's why we need to vote for Max. I'm for wiping the slate clean, and by this time next year, there won't be any questions. We've sat down and figured up how much you're going to pay to use the fairground.
Mr. Jones, would you like to come to the podium? State your name, please.
I think what I'm going to try to do is answer Mr. Atwood's question and also respond to what Mr. Medley's saying up here. And I think that Randy Porter explained it a few minutes ago. You have, from your minutes, a resolution from the County Commission in March of 2014 that says that after October 2014, you're going to charge the Putnam County Fair just like you would anybody else, any other entity. Them being nonprofit, it would be 50%. So the first part of Mr. Medley's motion is that since this is after October 2014, is to call it even this year. Now, if you don't do that, if you don't take some sort of action to call it even this year, you're going to have to charge them because that's what your minutes say. Then, technically, I don't even know that this was on the agenda from last week as it didn't go through committees. Then you can go back and address all the questions that you guys are debating here tonight as to whether or not to charge the fair board, whether or not to work out some sort of youth rental structure. But the bottom line is that so that the fair board doesn't get charged in 2015 for the use of fair, especially in light of the fact that you've got a fair in 2 weeks, you guys are going to have to take some kind of action to absolve them from having to pay. You need to take that burden off of them. If that's what you want to do.
Mr. Clerk, go over what we're about to vote on.
If I understand right, Mr. Medley, you help me, that your motion is to write off their expenses or write off anything for this year, calling it even for this year, and start with a rental fee structure for next year. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, that was your and Ms. Bowman seconded that motion. That's what I have. Does everybody understand that to be on what was on the floor? Everybody got it? All right. Are we ready to vote? If you take your handsets, if you favor that motion, vote yes. If you do not favor that motion, vote no. Everyone please vote. You're doing good. Anybody want to change their vote anywhere? Now, please press confirm for me, and we will take this vote. Everybody press confirm for me. All right. We have 22 voting yes, 1 no, 1 absent. That motion carries. All right. Somebody turn up the air conditioner.
Announcements and statements. County Exec, Mr. Porter.
One final thing, Mr. Chairman. There is and we talked about this in fiscal review Monday night also. I sent it out in an email to y'all at least a couple of times. We had a request from a private company to put in a tire recycling business down on Old Baxter Road. Since we're under the Jackson law, it requires that the county commission approve any of those types of businesses before they're allowed to apply to the state for a permit to do that. We have to follow the letter of the law, and the letter of the law says that we will hold a 30-day public comment for folks to make public comments whether they want it or whether they don't. That comment period ends this week. The law then says that we will give 15 days notice and we will hold a public hearing. And my question to you is that 15 days' notice for the public hearing would put it about August the 17th, which is your county commission meeting. My question to you is do you want to have the public hearing before the county commission meeting, and then you take it up as a body, as the county commission, or do you want it to go through a committee and hear it 3 times instead of 2, basically?
I think you have a good idea.
Well, I thought I did, but I'm not sure that would be awesome.
Do you need a motion?
I need a motion, please.
I'd like to make a,
Commissioner Watson, hang on, Mike. Commissioner Watson,
This, I'll speak in just a moment. This is not on the motion.
it's about an announcement, okay.
It's just a little statement afterward.
Commissioner Medley, you got the floor, baby.
I'll make the motion that we hear this and right after, during, is it during or after?
You hear it during the August 17th county?
During August 17th meeting.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Somebody just turn your mic or your hand things, raise your hand and you can talk. Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Any other announcements? Commissioner Watson?
Yes, I just wanted to state, just like most everybody, I didn't think I'd come here and have the fairgrounds issue be more controversial than the full county budget. Usually it goes the other way around. But I just wanted to go back to that business we tackled a moment ago. I just want to say that I'm proud of the budget that we've passed and of the way the Budget Committee worked together in a fiscally responsible manner. And I believe I can speak on behalf of all the first-year commissioners as such and say that we're glad that there's going to be no tax increase this year. I think everybody's pretty excited about that.